Having worked with Ron in Carolina, what is it about his coaching style or his approach that has made him the sort of coach that's both capable and willing to reset the culture of a franchise?
Well, Ron is probably one of the finest leaders of men that I've been around, and I've been around a lot of good ones. I think his ability to love the players and yet to be tough on them, to be demanding of them, to be empathetic, to be understanding. I think he's just so relatable in how he goes about his approach with guys. And he's also so very, very real. He's very genuine. You don't see a lot of hidden agendas. What Ron says, what Coach Rivera says, he means. And the guys see that. And guys can feel somebody that's real. They can feel somebody that's genuine. And a lot like Coach Del Rio, those guys were great players. And in this league, that certainly helps, to be able to have those qualities that Ron, he's very honest. He's forthright. You can trust him. I can go on, but this is the right guy for the job. There is no doubt about that at all, Nikki.
I know he's brought a lot of staff members from Carolina over to Washington. For you personally, why did you want to join this staff? And, how much does it help you to have others that were with you in Carolina?
Oh, I think it's great, and esprit de corps and camaraderie is so very important in an organization. And I wanted to be here because I wanted to continue to coach with Coach Rivera, and continue to learn from him, to continue to help him, to coach with him. And then obviously an opportunity to coach, for Coach Del Rio and learn from him. I don't know if there's a lot of linebacker coaches in the NFL, if any, that can say they have two guys that they can look to on a staff like this to be able to say, wow, what an opportunity to learn, you know what I mean? And grow. And I want to be around guys like that, and I like to fix things. I'm a teacher. I love challenges, and I like going into something that could be really, really good, but hasn't been that way yet. And I like being part of the solutions. And that really, really appeals to me, because I think we all can see, we've got potential. And I don't like that word potential because that means you haven't done it yet. But we got to start somewhere. And like I said, I like to fix things.
I wanted to ask about Ryan Anderson, and he's a guy who's played on the line. But what have you seen from him that maybe he could be a linebacker? Does he have those linebacker instincts?
I haven't worked with Ryan, so Matt, I'm sorry. I don't want to comment on something that I haven't worked with him and with him being in more with Coach Mills, and it's not like we've been around a lot. This was our first day. So, I was like, oh, hey, there's Ryan Anderson. There he is. I can't comment on that one, Matt. I'm not trying to duck you. I don't have to comment.
That's cool. And then you obviously worked with Luke Kuechly in Carolina. Just, you don't have maybe someone like that here, but what can you do when you maybe don't have a talent like that? Or is there anyone you see in this group that maybe resembles him, or in terms of how they go about their job? You obviously worked with Thomas Davis as well. Just what have you seen from this whole group?
Yeah, Luke wanted to be coached like everybody else, and he craved information. He craved coaching. It's one of the reasons why he was very, very good. He also was very instinctual and has incredible talent. I mean, I think Luke Kuechly is a no-brainer Hall of Famer, and absolutely love coaching him, just like I love coaching Thomas Davis, Shaq Thompson, all those guys down there. Really, I see, to say, oh, I see somebody that could be Luke Kuechly. There's one Luke Kuechly, and I see a lot of good football players here that I think that can help reach their potential. And that's really what we want to do as a coach, right? I mean, to be able to help somebody, whatever that potential is, we want to be able to reach those guys. And in this day and age of the NFL that we live in right now, especially this season, we need to build depth as much as anything. And I think we've got a good core group of guys. I think we're going to have great competition amongst this group. And this is a group that I'm really, really excited to work with. I think everybody has things that they bring to the table that are good. And what I do like about this group is one of the things that made Luke good was he's a football junkie. He was always studying. He was always learning. He was always asking questions. And, Matt, we got a bunch of guys that love football, and they love getting in there and studying and learning. And, it's 11 o'clock at night and you're getting a text message with a video on it or something, saying, hey, coach, is this right? That type of thing. So I like where this group's going because I like their intent. I like their work ethic. I like how they're hungry, and having competition the way that we have it, I think is, brings out the best in people in that regard as well. And it gives everybody a chance, and everybody wants a chance in the NFL. That's for sure.
Runs from a military family, and obviously you have your time at the service academy. I was just wondering how that informs your approach, or maybe what you guys have taken from that experience that you bring into your staff.
Well, you bring in the structure, you bring in the organization, you bring in discipline, and people, don't like you hear that word discipline, or they immediately think when they hear the word discipline, oh, this guy's dropping the hammer and this guy's doing this guy's doing that, he's being, he's going to be really hard on these guys. Well, yeah, we can be demanding, but we don't have to be demeaning. We can have high standards. We can hold people accountable, definitely. And that's what you do in the military. You're not going to sit there and berate somebody, and, you're going to lift people up. And more than anything, the military, just like playing football, it's mission oriented, and great things happen when people unify behind one vision and one mission. And I've seen that, and, I've seen it firsthand in the military, what a bunch of people that think more of others than they do themselves, what they can do when you mix some people like that together. And I think that's, that selfless attitude and that accountability and the discipline and not doing things for yourself but others. Those are the things that you see a lot and is very prevalent in the military. And, you see Ron, bringing a lot of those things to the table. And I try to do that as well. But, first and foremost, I'm a teacher, and I keep saying that because that's what my job is to teach these guys. And I take that very seriously. And having that mindset has really helped me, to be honest, during COVID, to be able to teach over Zoom or to teach remotely or coach that way. If you have it, teaching mindset, and you structure your all of your meetings that way, whether you're with them or whether you're in a video setting like this, I think that can pay real dividends. I really do.
Reuben Foster, he's someone who plays your position, but right now is on the PUP list. How do you proceed with someone like that who's clearly talented and could help you out, but just isn't available right now? How much can you factor him into your plans?
Well, what we do, Pete, is that I treat him and teach him and interact with him like he's going to be out there. And because that's the only way you can do it, right? I mean, there's an old saying that, you never know if you're going to have an opportunity, but you better be prepared, right? It's better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than have an opportunity and not be prepared. So Reuben is treating it that way, and I'm treating it that way with him. And then, it'll all work itself out once, if he's able to get cleared and all that type of thing. But I want to have Reuben Foster ready mentally, and emotionally ready to go out there and play football. The physical part will come through reps, and obviously is great work with RV and the trainers and Chad and the strength staff, all that kind of stuff. But my job is to make sure that when he hits that field, so it's a lot of mental work. What we were out today, and with the rookies and the injured guys were in. Reuben's been fantastic. I mean, he's back there taking mental reps. He's making the calls. He's lining up. He's putting himself in that position. He's telling, he's saying out loud what he's going to do. I quiz guys a lot in meetings, and one of the things I like to do with Reuben is Reuben will push mute, and I see Reuben making all the calls with his hands, whether I ask him or not. And, I can see his lips moving, whether I ask him a question or not. Because I told him, I don't have to ask you a question for you to be able to answer it. And I really like where Reuben is. I like his intent. I really like his focus. I like his discipline right now. And obviously we're rooting for him. I'm a big Reuben Foster fan. I want to see him get back out there and play some football, because I know that's what he loves to do. And that's what he's worked very, very hard to do. So we'll see how that all works out. I don't know. I'm not a trainer. So I coach the guys that I'm able to coach, but that'd be a fun one to work with. There's no doubt about that. And I like his approach right now and how he's approaching it. He's approaching it like I'm going to be back out there, and when I am, I'm going to be ready.
Holcomb, what did you see his progress? How did you see his progression last year? What are your impressions from this offseason? What are your expectations for him?
Yeah, Cole, I think, we always said, I come from a college background, and we always expected guys to be able to make their biggest jump, between their freshman and sophomore years, from year 1 to year 2. And as a football coach, I always thought, a lot of times the football team will make their biggest jump, from game 1 to game 2. And, you see Cole out there being thrust into a role with some injuries and whatnot. You see the raw talent, he can run. He's aggressive. He does have some instincts, but I also see a very raw player, that they moved him around. I think he was a safety, when he came in and walked on at North Carolina. And I think he played a lot of different spots. He's got very good football IQ. He studies the game. He loves the game. He puts time in away from the game. He's one of those football junkies. And I really, really like coaching those football junkies because they're a lot of fun to be around. You see some rough edges that you'd love to be able to polish up. And I think as a coach, that's going to be my job, to make sure that he knows what he's doing, but not only that, how he does it. Some of his key reads, some of his initial footwork, being locked in all the time, as far as what he's supposed to do. Part of that's being a rookie, you get a lot thrown at you, you get thrust into role, and you saw him flash. You see him make plays, you see him show up. He was productive. But there's a lot of rough edges right there that we're really working hard on, and he knows it. I mean, he's the first one to say, hey, how can I improve? I want to improve. And he's very eager to that. So I think if we can help smooth out those rough edges, we can hopefully see some really, really good improvement from him from year 1 to year 2. But he's one of those guys that, when you got some physicality to you, you got some juice to you when you can run and cover, in this modern NFL, that's going to be very, very important. So we look for those guys that can, play blocks and play in the run, but also be very, very productive in the passing game. And I think we can spruce up some things blitz wise to help him be a little bit more productive there as well.
And what Thomas Davis, what does he have? Like, do you have some favorite Thomas Davis stories that kind of are symbolic of who he is as a player and still is?
I wish I had, stories wise. My memory's not very good when it comes to stories, but Thomas Davis, I had the privilege to play with Steve Atwater when I played with Denver. And to this day, I always had thought that Steve was probably the best player leader that I had been around, a leader as a player in my time as a coach or a player. And when I started coaching Thomas, I said to myself, wow, he's better than Steve. And that's no knock on Steve. That's just how exceptional Thomas is as a leader. Everybody knows, that the career that he's had, but just the man and the leadership that he brings is tremendous. And you couldn't ask for a better example for some of those younger guys, because nobody holds himself accountable as much as Thomas Davis. I mean, I'm old, I get a free pass, all this other stuff, I've been in the league forever. There are no corners cutting, and when he doesn't, live up to the standard that he set for himself, he'll be the first to tell you that. And so, he can lead by word, he can lead by example. He's got a great presence to him. He's obviously got incredible credibility. And I think Thomas Davis is not only just helping our room tremendously, he's going to help our football team, kind of get what Coach Rivera would like. Coach Rivera and Coach Del Rio are doing. So he's going to be great in that role. And he's still playing at a good level too. So, it's fun to watch. So I learn from Thomas every single day. I do. I mean, I always say, check your ego at the door, and it's amazing what you can learn. I learn a lot from Thomas Davis, and it's really, really fun to be a part of coaching him.
What are you asking this group to do differently than it did last year, aside from obviously the scheme? I mean, what will be different?
I wasn't here. So, when you're not there every day listening to, Coach Ryan was their position coach. And I mean, shoot, man, I mean, he's been coaching for a long time. He's a great coach. So I don't know what it was that they were being taught exactly. I don't know, I don't know all the ins and outs right there. And really, to me, regardless of what happened, we're going to do things the way that we do things, and I'm going to teach the way that I teach. And, my expectations for these guys is to have great energy every single day. We set the tone and tempo for everything that we do as a defense and as a football team, whether it's our meetings, whether it's our walkthroughs, whether it's our practices, whether it's playing the game. We've got to be those guys that bring the energy. We've got to be the guys that quarterback the defense to make sure that, we're aligned and organized when that ball is snapped. I expect us to play fast, and aggressive and not fearful of making mistakes. I expect us to be tough physically and mentally, so, and at the end of the day, we get paid to produce less, we've got to be productive players. And that's my vision. So regardless of what anything happened in the past, I don't dwell on those types of things. I want to be able to get them to do, what we want them to do, not just me, but what Jack and what Ron want and expect linebackers to be. And that's, first and foremost, leaders of men and producers.
With regards to Kaliki Hudson, if I'm saying his first name right.
It's Kalik. I called him Kaliki for like an entire meeting, and then he corrected me the very first meeting and said, "No, okay, coach, it's Kalik." So he goes by Leak, but it's Kalik. So
appreciate you correcting me.
Hey man, I did the same thing. He had to correct me.
He's an interesting player, both defensively and special teams. But for you specifically, what are the things that you're kind of focusing on with him going into his rookie year?
You know what? Just let's learn how to be a pro. And he's been great. He's attacked it. For what little we've been together, he's eager. He loves to learn from other guys. I mean, that's the biggest thing. If you can come in as a rookie and we got some great guys to be able to learn from. And, he can be very, very well served learning from guys like that. But, we'll be able to get our hands on them a little bit more. I got Zoom meetings and whatnot, but last time I looked, we didn't play football virtually. So it's fun to watch him get out there. And I expect all my guys, I don't treat guys like, well, okay, you're the starters, you're the backups, you guys aren't going to make the team. I don't look at them like that. I look at every single guy as a future starter in the NFL. And I try to coach them that way, and I try to get them that way, get them ready that way. So, Ben, I've got to get him ready in this environment to be able to play football, and the special teams guys are getting ready to play special teams. I'm going to get him ready to play defense. That's my job. And I expect him to make great strides in that area.
And I'm just curious, you're the linebackers coach, but obviously with Ron and Jack, you've got two guys who play the position at the highest level. I'm just wondering, do you find them poking their nose in the room a lot to see what's going on with the linebackers?
No, they're in and out of everybody's rooms, and I've worked with Ron for a couple of years, and he'd come in and I'm one of those guys that I truly believe I try to practice what I preach. When I say check your ego at the door, I'm a damn fool, pardon my language, if I don't really gravitate to those guys and say, hey, and just learn from them because they were great players. They were great linebacker coaches. They're great coaches, period. And I like it. Ron told me when I got hired, he goes, "You got the hardest job of anybody in the building." This is back in Carolina. He goes, "Because I know you played linebacker and you coached linebacker, but I played linebacker and I coached linebacker, and I'm the head coach." So no, it was all good. He was trying to be funny, but I love learning from those guys, Ben. I really do, and it's not something that I find evasive or whatever. And those guys want to learn from them too. So if they want to jump in, obviously I embrace that, and they'll do that from time to time. But they're also really good about letting people coach. So I think we've struck a really, really good balance there, to be frank, and I'm really, really pleased with it. And as I said earlier, there's not many linebacker coaches that have the opportunity to learn from two guys on your staff, let alone one guy on the staff like that. So, I'm fired up. I mean, I'm getting my PhD in linebacker play every day.